أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. This is the part 4 and the last of the presentation on what's corrosion. And in the coming future, inshallah, I will start giving you the presentation on the corrosion in desalination plants. Stay tuned. And this is the first slide on this what is corrosion part 4. And you can see my address, my profile in there, and if you need more information on corrosion, including cathodic protection, internal corrosion, external corrosion, corrosion monitoring, or any other subject on the corrosion, you can always contact me. I am open to all your questions and your criticism and your support in promoting this highly required cause on the corrosion and corrosion control. This slide shows the corrosion in non-industrial section. Corrosion is everywhere, as I said in its introduction. So the kitchen tools are also susceptible to corrosion. Garden tools, AC cooling coils, doors, hinges, doors, windows, latches, hinges, wire nuts, almost everywhere you will find a corrosion. The major task on the corrosion now at present is how to find a suitable methods and technology to control the corrosion so that the natural sources they can last longer than anticipated due to corrosion. This slide shows corrosion hotspots in the nuclear industries. All these items which are listed in here, somehow or other, they always develop a corrosion at localized places, what we call them as hotspots. The steam condensate system is highly prone to the hotspot corrosion. Nuclear core, feed water piping, pump, heaters, steam generator blowdown, structure steam line, condensate line, main steam line, moisture separator, reheater drains, feeder lines, auxiliary steam, feed water pump steam supply, crossover lines at high pressure turbine exhaust, high pressure safety coolant injection pump, steam supply and drain, feed water piping system, fittings, elbows, bends, reducers and expanders, discharge and drain piping downstream of valves, feed water heater shell extraction and drains and nuclear storage. This slide shows images of hotspot corrosion in nuclear industry. The picture on top is a steam pipe which busted right in service, and this picture is taken from corrosion doctors. And the lower part in which is actually feed water pipe suction line, which also busted in operation, and this picture is taken from Intertech 2020. This slide shows corrosion hotspots in shipping industry. Ship hulls are always subjected to the seawater corrosion. Railings on top of the ships, which are also subjected to the seawater corrosion and the seawater mist, and grids and propellers and steering, all these equipment are highly susceptible to the corrosion at localized point, what we call as hotspots. This slide shows images of hotspots of corrosion in ships. The top picture you can see that how badly the ship has corroded. Its entire hull right from the bottom to the top looks almost gone. And the picture at the bottom it shows the propeller which has been badly corroded at localized points, what we call them as the hotspots. This slide shows images of hotspot corrosion in ships. This is the ship which has collapsed in the middle due to corrosion or maybe due to the differential stresses caused by the heavy weight on top of it, which may not have been properly distributed. And while the ship was sailing, so the ship was moving up and down, and the differential stresses caused it, right, a ship collapse in the middle of the hull. This slide shows growing hotspots in aviation industries. In aviation industries, oil and hydraulic systems are highly prone to localized corrosion. Wings joints, engines, landing gear and wheel wells, fuel tanks and fuel pumps, skin seams, lap joints, fasteners, fairing surfaces, main and nose undercarriages, rudder and elevator shroud area, aileron and flap areas, flap tracks and trailing areas, spot welded assemblies, freight doors and ramps, and access doors. These are all highly susceptible to the corrosion and localized point, what we call them as hotspots. This slide here is the continuation of the previous slide on the corrosion hotspots in aviation industries. Leading edges, hinges, lines, and air ducts, random areas, gaps, seams, and fairings, areas under lavatories and galleys, bilge areas, cockpit floorboard. In jet fighters, the hotspots are the actual missiles and the gun blast areas, engines intake areas, cockpit frames. In helicopter, the hotspots are in the wing fold areas, main rotor head and tail assembly, transmission housing, main rotor blades and leading edges. All these points are highly susceptible to atmospheric corrosion and maybe to the localized environment in the planes. And they are highly susceptible to corrosion at localized points, what we call them as the hotspots. This slide shows growing hotspots in aviation industry. It's a continuation of the previous two slides. And this picture on the right is taken from the AGORD Corrosion Handbook Volume 1, Aircraft Corrosion Causes and Case Histories, 1985. All these points which are given in there, like in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The first one is the under the ICER boot, floor sports and floorings, passengers, cargo and crew doors, galleys areas, integral fuel tanks, exhaust gases and trail areas, lavatory areas, battery areas. All these are actually spotted in there in the plane where the corrosion can take place at localized points, what we normally call them as hotspots. This slide shows corrosion hotspots in aircraft wheel wells. This slide is taken from U.S. Department of Transportation Federal Aviation Administration Advisory Circular 2018. Now the picture on the right, it is self-explanatory. You can read it yourself because it is all shown in there where the corona is likely to take place, right, at normally what we call as hotspots. This slide shows images of hotspot corrosion in aviation industries. The picture on the top left shows that where the corrosion has taken place around this area, which is a hotspot corrosion. It is very common in the aviation industry. On the top right, you can see that this corrosion hotspots around all the rivers placed on the wings, and these are very common corrosion spots in the aviation industry, and their control is required. And always, when ever the plane is landed, all these areas are carefully checked to make sure that the plane is safe for further travel. The picture on the below left, it is the frame which is highly susceptible to the corrosion, and the picture on the right, it shows the engine propeller area, all that, which is also very, very susceptible to the corrosion. This slide shows growing hotspots in diesel generators. Piston crowns, valve seats, turbochargers, cooling system in diesel generators are highly susceptible to localized corrosion for one reason or the other. And these regions and the areas would normally call them as hotspots. This slide shows image of hotspot corrosion in diesel generator. The picture on the right shows the cylinder stem has undergone corrosion at specific areas along its stem. And this picture is taken from the fleet guard. And the picture on the left shows the cooling water system and the area where this hotspot corrosion has taken place. It is encircled by a red color, so you can easily see that where this localized corrosion has taken place in the cooling water system. This is the last slide of this series of at the presentation on the what is corrosion. You see that in future I will be uploading more presentations on corrosion in different industries. Left in here is the rocket industries, which I could not cover because of reason. The rocket industry is a highly confidential industries, and information is not coming out so easily. And even the rocket industry is not as old as oil and gas industries and other industries. So the information is very, very scanty in terms of corrosion of the rocket industries. And the most important point at this stage, I would like to emphasize that with the experience I have got on the academic side, on the research side, and other direct industrial experience in oil and gas across the entire oil and gas industries, from the downhole to the shipping, which I have already covered in here. And since I have the direct experience of the cathodic protection, internal corrosion, external corrosion, and coatings. And I have written many scope of works and also reviewed many scope of works. So if you need my services at any time on the scope of works or the review of documents or writing any information or checking the reports, you can always contact me on my phone and on my email.